Good evening from the Tiger Nation. We come to you tonight from the Dunnington Reading Room, and in these surreal times when we are separated, we're reminded that we're yoked together at Woodberry Forest with a commitment to academic excellence. Tonight we celebrate our cum laude students, and I'm excited to turn the podium over to Mr. Paul Huber, our academic dean.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 Cum Laude Society Induction Ceremony. We gather here to celebrate the outstanding achievement of the 20 new members who will be inducted into the Society, as well as to recognize the 10 members inducted last year. Founded in 1906, the Cum Laude Society honors scholastic achievement in secondary schools. The founders of the Society modeled Cum Laude after Phi Beta Kappa. In the years since its founding, Cum Laude has grown to 382 chapters, approximately 24 of which are located in public schools, and the rest in independent schools. Membership is predominantly in the United States, but chapters are also located in Canada, England, France, Spain, Puerto Rico, Switzerland, and the Philippines. Our association with the Cum Laude Society dates back to 1952, when Woodberry was accepted as a member school. At that time, there were only about 100 members. Chapter members may induct up to 20% of any graduating class. Up to 1/2 of the group may be inducted in the junior year. I would like to recognize the 10 students who were inducted last year. Emmett Holland Iden, Blythe Victoria Brewster, Sao Tien Yu, Trevor Matthew Daniel, Frank Hughes Edwards, Kim Min Suk, Luke Fox McNabb, Luke Wallace Stone, Carter Keene Williams, Frederick Hurley Waltz Jr. Now I will read the formal induction statement. The distinguished record you have made at Woodberry Forest has won for you membership in the Cum Laude Society. This society is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work. As you pursue your education, it is our hope that you will accept the honor of membership in this society as a responsibility to make some contribution to the ongoing search for greater understanding of the world in which we live. The motto of the Society is Arete Dike Time, excellence, justice, honor. Arete includes the concept of excellence in the moral sense and is not limited to the ideal of superiority in scholarship, nor does it involve the endeavor of competing primarily for academic goals. DK includes the concept of what is suitable and appropriate, as well as just. Team A includes the concept of dignity and truth, as well as honor. We will now induct the 10 members from the class of 2020. Before we introduce the new members, we would like to congratulate them on their outstanding academic accomplishments, as well as assure them that their academic excellence has not gone unnoticed. I will now read your names. Sixth form: Benton Wilson Copeland, Alexander Taft Gant, Reese Isaiah Bonmarito Logan, Mathieu Massé Pelletier, Daniel Alexeyevich Ukolov, Chu Wei Han, Andrei V. Shalkivsky, John Spencer Sloan, Reed Hartman Taws, Ethan Paul Weber. We will now induct 10 members of the class of 2021 into the Cum Laude Society. To the inductees, your efforts have earned you this well-deserved recognition here this evening. We look forward to your continued academic success. Dawson Lee Chitwood, Jacob Holden Cochran, Milo Sebu Jacobs, Hua Tan Nang, Samuel Lewis Long, John Robert Meeks, Peter Lansing Moore, Sun Yi Hua, Lytton Clark Warren, John Spencer Whitman Jr. At this time, I will turn the program over to Dr. Hulsey, who will introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you to Mr. Huber, and I want to add my congratulations to you for your accomplishments upon being inducted to the Cum Laude Society. We're reminded tonight that academic excellence at Woodberry is a part of the school's mission statement. And I'm reminded tonight also that in that mission, the school commits that boys here under our care will learn a will toward personal sacrifice in service to others. To me, that means that academic excellence should be yoked to personal sacrifice in service to others. In this moment of global health pandemic, with a world health crisis upon us, we've never known more clearly the purpose of education as a way to make the world a safer and better place. Our speaker tonight speaks with that same kind of authority and with that same kind of confidence in the mission here at Woodberry Forest. Joe Coleman came as a boy and graduated in 1979. After a year teaching on the faculty, he returned to school in the 1990s and worked in the admissions office, eventually serving as director of admission. In the mid-2000s, he was promoted to assistant headmaster and dean of students. And for 8 years, Joe served the school with great commitment, devotion, and dedication. He left Woodberry at the end of last year and now lives near Charlottesville. I was happy to be able to prevail upon him to come speak to us tonight. And it's a privilege and honor to have Joe back with us this evening. And for Joe, welcome home, and thank you, sir, for being a great friend to Woodberry Forest and a great friend to me personally.
Thank you, Dr. Hulsey, for that kind introduction. When you first asked about my coming back, I wondered if it were too soon. And I also wondered, why me? But in the end, I feel honored to be a part of this induction ceremony tonight. I know these students, and I'm proud of each of you. First of all, I acknowledge that we're living in very difficult circumstances. Seniors, I really feel for you right now because I know how much you look forward to the spring. I'm sorry you're missing so many of the activities that typically take place. And I'm sure you miss being with each other. But you can't control these circumstances. And I'll tell you, like I've told to each of the senior classes before you over the last 8 years, finish well. You will never regret doing your best as you end your Woodberry career. As painful as this is for you, I hope you will turn your thoughts to the families who have lost loved ones during this virus. Be thankful for your family, friends, and the experiences you've had. But we're here tonight to celebrate, and that's what we're going to do. For those of you who've been inducted into the Cum Laude Society tonight, we honor your combination of intelligence and hard work in earning you one of the top academic records in your class. As Mr. Huber mentioned, the Society was formed in 1906 to honor scholastic achievement in secondary schools. The hope is that by celebrating and highlighting academic achievement, the organization will promote continued learning. So you're in. Now what? To help us answer that question, let's turn again to the guide that the Society gives for its new member induction. There's a line I want to repeat that Mr. Huber had read. It says, accept the honor of membership in this society as a responsibility to make some contribution to the ongoing search for a greater understanding of the world in which we live. Responsibility, contribution, a greater understanding of the world. Doesn't that sound familiar? Haven't you heard similar language? Let me read something for you. To train its students toward a useful contribution to the democratic society in which they live. This quote is from the Woodberry Forest School mission statement. And I believe the messages are the same. Because of the gifts you've been given, make it your aim to develop a better understanding of the world in which we live, so as to have an impact, so as to make a contribution. The learning is to equip you to make our world a better place. Is our community a healthier, more vibrant place because we're in it? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. And inductees and the rest of the Woodberry community, if you're going to assume this responsibility, I would argue you need to couple the learning with growth in practicing two things: generosity and empathy. Let me explain why. I don't believe you'll make a significant contribution to anything unless you're willing to give, unless you're willing to be generous. We need more people who are willing to be kind, selfless, and giving. I worry that we have begun to see kindness as weakness and not the noble quality that it is. Being generous is about more than giving money. That's part of it. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's not limit ourselves by thinking we can give a few dollars and be done. One of our most precious possessions is time. Are we willing to sacrifice some of what we want to do to help somebody else? I think one of the keys to becoming more generous is having the right perspective and being thankful for what we have and recognizing how much we've been given. Maybe it's the financial resources that we have. Maybe it's a supportive family. Maybe it's the intellectual ability that we're celebrating tonight. Maybe it's the educational opportunity that we've all been given. This doesn't mean that we ignore the difficulty in our lives, but we have a balanced perspective, which leads to the second area of growth, and that's empathy. I believe if you're going to develop a better understanding of the world, especially the human condition, you will need to learn to empathize with others. You need the ability to recognize, understand, and share the thoughts and feelings of another. Psychologist Alfred Adler said, empathy is seeing the eyes of another, seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. I think it's about making the effort to listen and learn. And I believe we can grow in our ability to empathize with each other. But it takes a willingness to look outside of ourselves. Woodberry community, and especially the inductees tonight, will you accept this challenge? Will you assume the responsibility of using your gifts to positively impact your community? You don't have to wait until you graduate. You can begin here. You can begin in this community. But I don't just want us to think individually. I want us to think corporately. Does Woodberry Forest School have a positive impact on the Orange and Madison communities? As I've been removed from my experience here in the day-to-day, I've had the opportunity to reflect about my time here. And one of my regrets is that I didn't promote our students making more meaningful connections in the Orange and Madison communities. Who lives there? What are the needs? How can we use our gifts to make these communities better places? I don't want to minimize what we currently do, because I know we volunteer at the local Boys and Girls Club. You know, we visit the nursing home in Culpeper. We do an amazing job hosting Special Olympics. But what else can we do? Dr. Hulsey, I hope the school leadership will encourage our faculty and students to a more significant level of engagement and contribution, and give them the time to do so. It will make a difference. It will make a difference not only in these communities, but in the lives of each of us. Without these opportunities, we won't grow in our ability to empathize with others and understand the world around us. Inductees, congratulations. May your experience here mark one section along the continuum of your learning journey. And may you use what you learned to make our communities better. We are depending upon you to do so. Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Coleman for those inspiring and challenging words. I again share my congratulations with each of you who's been inducted, and I wish everyone and your families a happy and safe evening. Stay healthy, stay strong, and we look forward to having you back on campus just as soon as possible. Go Tigers!